alongside with Grant from Floods the Sports. And we would like to welcome Marco. Sorry that I'm going to butcher your name. Arnu.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. That's what.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome to the show. By the way.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Would you like to introduce yourself, Marco?
My name's Marco. I have a sports show and I do play-by-play on it. It's called Inside the Sports 12 on Sportscaster, and yeah. So if you like play-by-play and just stuff about sports, just make sure to follow me there.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Marco, for coming. And before we start the podcast, I ask you guys to please hit the like button. I mean, greatly appreciates a lot to us. That's going to make us do more podcast videos. And without further ado, let's get this party started. So Marco, what we always been doing at the start, we're doing a top 5 unrestricted free agents for this upcoming, and then you'll say, will he resign or not resign, and choose the 3 teams of your choice.
Oh, for me?
Yeah. So, all right. So first player we got from the Winnipeg Jets, Nick Shore. He's a center. $750,000. Will he resign with Winnipeg? Yes or no? Grant, would you like to start? Nick Shore.
Sure. Nick Shore is interesting, good player, but I don't know if the Jets would want to resign him. He's still kind of relatively young, but at the same time, he's kind of in that position where, all right, if he doesn't really do well in the NHL or even the AHL, you could definitely be seeing him in the KHL in a couple years, unfortunately. So yeah. I'm going to say the Jets don't resign him. I'm going to say probably a team like, I don't know, let's say like a really bad team, or not even a bad team, maybe somewhere like Minnesota or like Arizona may want to like pick him up for either the 4th line or like an AHL spot maybe, but I don't see him resigning with the Jets.
Yeah. Marco, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with him, though. Because I just feel like, I feel like he's probably going to be going, like you said, to the KHL pretty soon in about a few years. I just don't really feel like he has a spot really on a team unless it's like a terrible team, like Grant said, like just a team that needs help in a spot to help you at yeah.
Yeah, I kind of see him re-sign with Winnipeg because he is looking for NHL rosters too. I kind of see him go to have a 1-year proving deal, see if he's eligible to go to Seattle the following year. If he does not resign, I kind of see him go to like Arizona or Chicago or like Minnesota around there. So it's kind of a coin flip, but let's say resign, and he will have the eligibility. He will be eligible to be unprotected for the Seattle Kraken.
And, that would be a player I think the Kraken would certainly want to go after.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense.
They're probably just going to go after a lot of free agents they're going to have available.
Yeah.
Next one, we got another Winnipeg Jets defenseman, which he's kind of interesting. Lucas Spiza, $750,000. Will he resign with Winnipeg? Yes or no? Marco, would you like to start?
Sure. I'm going to say yes. I think he's going to resign. But I honestly could see him joining another team, possibly. But yeah, we'll see.
Grant, what do you think about Lucas Spiza?
I mean, Lucas Spiza is very interesting because when he was on the Ducks and when he was on the Canucks, he was actually decent. But yeah, no, I mean, he's definitely not the defenseman he was a few years ago. Even a few years ago, people would say Lucas Spiza wasn't really, top of the notch or anything. So overall, it's an interesting one. I mean, I can maybe see the Jets trying to bring him back, but it wouldn't shock me if, they draft a defenseman and also get rid of him. I think Lucas Spiza is another one, another good option I think Seattle could go after in the expansion draft if the Jets do re-sign him. It's going to be interesting. Honestly, the Jets have such a young defensive core. I really don't think they're going to want to bring him back. So I'm going to say he goes elsewhere with an AHL team.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I'm going to say him go to the KHL because Lucas Spiza has a terrible track record of staying consistent in the roster.
He's also 30 years old now too.
Yeah, like right now he's now your 7th defenseman. Like in his first, I'm gonna say 5 years of his career in the NHL, he stood consistent, being like a solid bottom pair. But right now, to this day, when he was like in Vancouver, he's starting to show that he has a terrible track record of staying consistent, not trying to crack in the NHL roster, and that's why he's been going to a lot of different teams like Vegas, the New York Islanders, and the Winnipeg Jets. It's too much for him going to other different teams. Yeah, I kind of see him go to the KHL.
Yeah,
that certainly makes sense. Just proves to show how much, when you were playing with Cam Fowler or Hampus Lindholm on the same defensive line, saying, you get rid of those pretty solid players, and all of a sudden you're kind of in the KHL conversation. So that's very surprising that Spiza really dropped off really quickly.
Yeah. Next one, we got Chris Stewart from the Philadelphia Flyers, and I think this is going to be a good one for sure. Another $750,000, but everything is going like down low salary wise. But anyway, will you resign with Philadelphia? Yes or no? Grant, would you like to start?
I'm kind of contemplating if he should stick with a different NHL team or go over to the KHL. Definitely not the Flyers. I mean, Joel Farabee has certainly proven enough that he is going to be a legit starter on the Flyers bottom six next year. And they even have other pretty decent players down there in Valley. So, yeah, I would assume that the Flyers won't bring him back. Chris Stewart's interesting because he really hasn't had productive years since his days with, like, the Blues or the Sabres, which was in the early 2010s, I'm pretty sure. But overall, he's not a horrible player, and I think a team would want to pick him up. So I'd probably say, I don't know, maybe like Vancouver or Dallas would maybe want to pick him up on like a 1-year deal.
Yeah. Marco, what do you think? Chris Stewart?
Yeah, I agree with Grant. I think another team that kind of needs a forward will try to go after and try to get him for maybe the fourth line or an AHL team that they have. So, yeah, I'm going to say go elsewhere.
Yeah, for Chris Stewart, I kind of see him go to a team like Washington because since Washington got out in the first round, I think they're looking some depth. Like Travis Boyd might be gone, Nick Dowd might be gone, Richard Panik might get touched soon, but I don't know. But if you're gonna replace like Travis Boyd, Nick Dowd, and some other players in the AHL, you can see Chris Stewart come back. Come to Washington. You could possibly see him go to Calgary for another depth forward, or maybe a team like in Ottawa.
Yeah, those are certainly good possibilities. Definitely could see Washington for sure. By the way, Marco will be right back. But yeah, I could definitely see Washington being a possibility, especially since, they pretty much aren't going to re-sign anybody on that fourth line. So maybe.
Yeah. All right, next one.
Matt Molson in the AHL now, the Capitals. They could always rely on Matt Molson.
Yeah, which we can squeeze that topic in today if you want. Okay, talk about it. I guess we have a bull in the china shop here, but okay. Next one. We got Garrett Sparks from the Vegas Golden Knights. Yes, he's a goaltender, $750,000, same salary, but this is gonna be interesting for Vegas. I can't see him resign with Vegas if Fleury's out, which we will get into that soon. You will have Robin Leonard and Garrett Sparks if that happens. So yeah, I kind of see him resign with Vegas for sure. Graham, what do you think about Garrett Sparks?
Yes. Fleury is definitely gone, and I mean they might as well resign Sparks because they aren't gonna, because Robin Leonard's so good. They're not going to go after like Hopi or Thomas Greiss or any of those guys. So they might as well stick with the guy they got who's still pretty young. I was honestly impressed with Garrett Sparks in his limited time he played back with the Maple Leafs. I thought he was pretty good in the AHL with the Toronto Marlies. And honestly, I'm very curious. I can't wait to see him more in the NHL. I think he has a chance to be a very solid goalie and a very good 1-2 punch with Robin Leonard down there in Vegas. So absolutely re-sign him.
Marco, what do you think?
Yeah, sorry, I just stepped out for a second, but wait, who are we talking about? I heard it was a goal for Vegas, I think.
Yeah, Garrett Sparks.
Oh, yeah, I think he'll resign because I think Fleury's going to be out because he's getting really old now. I think he's like 35 or 36, so I think he'll stay.
Yeah. All right, we'll do one more, and this is going to be a grand answer. Joakim Ryan from the LA Kings. He's a defenseman, $725,000. So, yeah, will he resign with LA? Yes or no? Grant, take it away.
Interesting one. Joakim Ryan's impressed me a lot. I would say resign him to another 1-year deal. Honestly, it's kind of tough, though, because the Kings do have very young defensemen in the AHL already. I do think they will target some more defensemen in the draft, but sure, I'd say at least bring him back for another year, maybe flip him at the trade deadline or something next year. Sure, I'd say resign him. Been decent overall. Yeah, what do you think, Marco? You think the Kings will resign him?
Yeah, I think probably like you said, maybe a year or maybe 2 possibly, but I don't know. We'll see. I think
maybe 2.
Yeah, I think he does not perform well by like the trade deadline. I think he could be a potential option to trade him potentially, but yeah, we'll see. I do think they resign him though.
Yes. Joakim Ryan. I kind of see him resign with LA for a 1-year proving deal. See if he's eligible to go to Seattle. So yeah, I kind of see him resign to go to LA for a 1-year proving deal and maybe be eligible for the Seattle Kraken expansion.
I think Seattle would be a great place for him if he does end up going there.
Yeah. All right. Since we got our 5 free agents out of the way, I guess Grant is frozen, but anyway,
Oh, you're fine now.
Now you're good. Okay. Now you're good. All right. Anyway,
all right. Good.
Let's start for our topics, and let's just start this even better. Okay, I guess we all know what happened in Game 5 with the playoffs from the Caps and the Islanders, but we need to say something better that Todd Reirden is out. Thank God. I knew that was going to happen. Yeah, like, what are you guys' thoughts about Reirden being out for Washington? Grant, would you like to start?
Absolutely. Need to be done. 100% need to be done. How do you get outmanaged by a very old Islanders defense and a forward core that only has Anders Lee, Matthew Barzal, and a bunch of bottom sixers? That series was absolutely atrocious. Brendan, I'm shocked they waited 2 days after the series ended. I thought they were going to fire him right the final buzzer of Game 5. I thought they were going to fire him right then and there. I'm even shocked they waited an extra day or 2 to do so, because that was just one of the most pathetic playoff series I've ever seen, because Washington, they should have been the ones who should have won in 5, not clearly. And just making sure that guys like Ovechkin, Oshie, because now like all these players and John Carlson deserve another run at Stanley Cup. But Rendon wasn't going anywhere with them with back-to-back first-round losses. And boy, what a way for the Hopi era to end as well.
Yeah, Marco, what were your thoughts about Reirden being fired?
Oh, that was much needed. I mean, he loses in 5 against a team that, like Grant said, is pretty old on the defensive end. So I think that was a good move. Definitely, I think the Capitals will be back in the playoffs next year, and I think they'll have a better chance now with the better coach, I think.
Yes. Next year, if the Caps lose in the first round, I'm going to go Steve Dangle and say, you were supposed to win this time, but you blew it.
Well, it depends on who they face, because honestly, if Washington faces like Tampa Bay or like Philadelphia or Boston, don't be surprised if they lose. But if they face like the Islanders, be surprised if they lose. It all depends on who faces who.
Yeah.
Situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of head coaching, since the Caps does not have a coach right now, who should be the next coach? I think there's between Pierre Laviolette or Gerard Gallant. So, Grant, who do you think, Laviolette or Gallant? And why?
First off, that would be hysterical if the Capitals brought back Bruce Boudreau.
No,
just like
that
to mention
ain't happening.
Second off, between it won't happen. Between Laviolette and Gallant, in my opinion, I think Gallant would be a better coach to have at the moment, especially since, he coached against them in the 2018 finals with Vegas. But I don't know. It just seems like Pierre Laviolette will probably get along better with like the Capitals players and such because he's more of like that. He's more of an experienced coach who can, really take a contending team far. I mean, we saw what he did with Philadelphia and Nashville. Wouldn't shock me if he did again with Washington. I would ultimately say you should probably hire Gallant, but in my prediction, they'll probably go with Pierre Laviolette.
Yeah, Marco Gallant.
Yeah. I'm actually going with something that you guys have not said yet. I'm going to go with Bruce Boudreau as an
No, Marco, not happening, bud.
Or Jared Gallant. I think that was my second option, but I think that would be a great story if he came back.
Nope, bud. Nope.
I'll tell you one thing though. Bruce Boudreau came back. Watch out for those Game 7s. Because he's like 1-5 all-time record in Game 7s.
Yeah.
Very stacked Capitals and Ducks teams. For forgetting
he couldn't have any time in the second round, really. So
yes. All right. Here's my prediction. All right. First things first. You need to find a coach who has been going to a lot of Stanley Cup final appearances, like Pierre Laviolette. This dude came, or I should say, this dude went to 3 Stanley Cup final appearances. Carolina in 2006, Philadelphia in 2010, and Nashville in 2017. Will be Washington in 2021. Who knows? All right. I'm going to go with Pierre. But Gallant. Yes, that's right. This dude came to Vegas, bring a serious energy into T-Mobile Arena for 2.5 years. That was a disaster day. He got fired in Vegas, but they were lucky that they had Peter DeBoer coming in the Vegas. Golden Knights were a top 4 team in the Western Conference. Will it be surprised if Gallant coaches Washington? Kinda, but I think Laviolette is a at or near coach who should be at the job.
Yeah, I can see that. Because, pretty much every single year.
It's really a coin flip. You could go either way, and you honestly can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Just like you don't hire Boudreau.
Because,
honestly, between Laviolette and Gallant, you were bound to at least make it past the first round. At least one of those two guys. We were probably even talking Eastern Conference Finals appearances with those guys as your coach, if not even Stanley Cup. So it was certainly a coin flip. Both very good.
I think with every single team that he's coached, he's made the Stanley Cup Finals, right?
Yeah.
He made it with Nashville, Carolina, and the Flyers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of Washington, I guess you can see right in the bottom, Alex Ovechkin is the cover of NHL 21. I wonder where that is. Yes, sir. Alex Ovechkin is your NHL 21 cover. I'm kind of surprised because I thought that they are looking for like a young player like David Pastrnak or Nathan McKinnon or like Artemi Panarin, some guys like that. Because if you looked on the previous NHL covers, Austin Matthews, PK Subban, Vlad Tarasenko, I was about to say Kane and Taves, but Jonathan Taves was on the cover of NHL 16. NHL 15 was Patrice Bergeron. The last 5 were young. And I'm surprised that they put a player who is already on the cover on NHL 7. So, Sarah, what are you guys' thoughts about Ovechkin being on NHL 21?
My thought about the cover in general is I know it's also EA Sports, but it looks way too similar to Madden. Way too similar. They had to change that up a little bit than just having like a couple of pictures of Ovechkin in the back, like what they did with Lamar Jackson. I think they could have done a little bit more with the cover. It doesn't look bad, but it just looks way too identical to Madden, in my opinion. But overall, for Ovechkin, the cover, I have nothing wrong with it. It's like there's never a bad year to put Ovechkin on the cover. But yeah, the fact they didn't go with like Draisaitl, McKinnon, my prediction, or Pastrnak, it's just kind of like really. It's like I would have expected them to make, one of those three guys to be on there. But, they went with Ovechkin. It's never a bad pick to put Ovechkin on there. But overall, I was a little bit surprised.
Yeah. Marco, what do you think about OVB on the cover?
Yeah, I was pretty surprised too. I thought it was being McKinnon as well as Grant said. I mean, I thought McKinnon just had a great year with Colorado, so I think he deserved it. And he's also a pretty young player, and they've seen a trend where they put a lot of young guys. So, I was kind of leaning towards that, or Pastrnak as well. So yeah, but I think he was a very good player, and he did pretty well in the playoff series.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess Oilers fans I do not want to say something stupid, but they want Colby Cave on the cover. But me and Grant already talked about it numerous times about if Cave will ever be on the cover. But yes, he's more likely an
It would
AHL.
make sense, but it wouldn't bring in the money.
Yes,
that's why they didn't do it. It would make sense, but no way.
I also feel like you know how 2K does it with the Legend Edition and stuff. I feel like EA could do that maybe with NHL, maybe put Colby Cave on one of those. But I don't think he should on the main cover
because he's most likely an AHL guy. If they do a separate have Cave on the cover, say Colby Cave Edition, then that can be acceptable.
Yeah,
but not on the main itself, the Ultimate Standard Deluxe Edition. That does not be part of. Yeah. I'm just saying. Sorry, Oilers fans. I'm just saying.
He was great in the AHL though for Providence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if there was an AHL 21, he would have made it. He would have made it, no question.
Yes. All right, Grant. You can choose any topic you would like.
All right, let's just go in order, I guess. How about Kasperi Kapanen back to Pittsburgh? My goodness. What an interesting trade we had here. So this happened yesterday. The Maple Leafs traded right winger Kasperi Kapanen, defenseman Jesper Lindgren, and forward Portis Alberg to the Penguins for center Philippe Helder, defenseman David Warski, and forward Evan Rodriguez, along with the 15th overall pick in the draft. Guys, what do you think of this? And I'll give my opinion.
Marco, would you like to start?
I mean, first of all, that's a lot of pieces going on another team. I think it was an okay trade. I think it was a good trade from both teams. I think it'll benefit them both. They added a lot of pieces. Some of these guys I actually don't know. So, sorry about that.
Yeah, no, most of them are AHL players, yeah.
Yeah, so some of the ones I do know though. I mean, I think it was a pretty good trade. It could benefit both teams.
Yeah. For me, I'm kind of surprised that rally cap is going to the Penguins. From his exit interview or a trade alert interview about Kasperi Kapanen. He said that he was very, very happy that he's going back to where he was drafted and all of his development has been starting. Yes, all of his development came from Toronto because he has been a solid middle of your lineup type guy. He is now developing offensively to become a two-way forward or an all-around forward.
Yeah.
It's interesting, and Evan Rodriguez is more likely a bomb six depth forward. I think Toronto needs some depth. Excuse me, as far as I'm concerned. But 15th overall pick is even better because right now Toronto has two first-round picks, and Pittsburgh has traded away from their 2021 first-round pick. I think from Patrick Marleau trade or Phil Kessel trade. It's great. It's cool that Kapanen is going back to Pittsburgh.
Here's my take on the trade. It's not necessarily a bad trade because you're throwing all the decent AHL prospects for Kasperi Kapanen. That's actually not a bad deal. It's on the fact you're getting two other players in the deal isn't bad. But here's my problem why would you give up the 15th overall pick for a guy who's probably not going to play in the first line? He is at least a second liner. Kasperi Kapanen. No way is he ready for the first line. I mean, unless I really want to play him with at least on the second line, but playing with Malkin if Crosby stays healthy, which, isn't bad per se. But, he's not even the best right winger on the team. I think they're still going to roll with Patrick Hornquist on the first line with the healthy Jake Gunzel. I think that's your first line right there with Gunzel, Crosby, and Hornquist. You put Kapanen on the second line. That's not horrible, but I think I would have went maybe and I know Kapanen is still pretty young, but I would have even went younger in the draft, honestly. I feel like if they wanted, to get a right winger, I think they could have maybe even traded up in the draft to get one. But that's just my opinion on it. I think it's a little bit too much for a second winger.
They could have probably used that pick to draft a pretty solid right winger. That could have.
Yeah, right. That's what I thought they would have done instead.
Because, that right winger someone who could be in your first line instead of someone who barely even makes it to your second line. So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Next topic. Roll the clip. Mike Milbury said something stupid on national TV from the Caps and the Islanders.
Oh, what's that? The guy they got suspended or something?
He got fired.
Oh, man, he's off the air.
He's done. Yes, worst GM of all time, Sam ripped the PHO to a 99-year contract, and now he's fired on NBC.
Took them long enough.
Yeah, Grant, what do you think about
it? Really
crazy
because this guy, he was horrible during the playoffs, especially. He was horrible during the playoffs. He was giving Rask so much garbage about opting out. And then he made this comment, and he was thinking that there should be shootouts in playoff games. It's like Mike Milbury had a rough playoff year. We were only, this was actually late first round when he said this comment. So, just imagine if they kept him on, right? Many people do not like Mike Milbury. What he said, it wasn't – a lot of people are like, oh, okay, it was towards women. And I kind of get it because basically what Mike Milbury was saying is that, oh, hey, if you're an NHL player, you're in the bubble, hey, it's a good thing to, get more, engage with your teammates and stuff. It's like that's not bad to say per se, but the fact that the players are going to be gone for at least 2 to 3 months in a bubble and they can't see their wife and children, that's where I could kind of see why everyone's getting criticized here. Or getting critical, I should say. So I don't necessarily – plus all the crazy stuff Milbury said before, I don't necessarily disagree with this decision, honestly.
Yeah, and he was kind of like judging Tuukka Rask in the part that, he was going out of the bubble. He was getting a lot of hate. I don't know. You really don't know what's, happening in other people's lives, and I think you shouldn't really hate on it for why he's sitting out or opting out and leaving. Because, he could have something, terribly going on that he doesn't want to share with the public. So I think he should probably – especially with the part of him being part of NBCSN and all that stuff and being on national TV, I think he should just keep his comments to himself and stuff about that.
Yes, so he won't share it on national TV.
Yeah.
We got an interesting one. The Edmonton Oilers are planning to get Panthers forward Erik Haula. I think this is an interesting decision for the Edmonton Oilers. Erik Haula is they're saying that Erik Haula will be your third line center for the Edmonton Oilers. So yeah, you guys, the Oilers have Connor McJesus McDavid, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. I think he's a right wing, but anyway. We'll say Kyler Yamamoto as a second line center and Erik Haula. I think the first 3 centers are all set if they have Erik Haula. So Grant, what do you think?
Absolutely. It's certainly an interesting point to bring up, and I definitely think that's a possibility to happen, especially Edmonton. Yeah, I want me to Haula, very good player. First in the hurry. Now the guy is solid. At the time, though, I don't know if the Panthers are going to want to get rid of him so quickly, especially after he did have a decent playoffs in that qualifying round series against New York. But I think overall, sure, if the Panthers can't re-sign him, then I definitely agree with the Oilers wanting to go after him. No complaints from me.
Marco, what do you think?
Yeah, I think the Oilers might just try to add depth here and on this move and try to add some experience to their third line and try to help some of those guys that they got there because they got some young pieces there on their team. So I think they should probably just try to do that. I think that would be a good move by the Oilers.
Yeah. All right, next topic, which we did not have it on the list, but we're gonna say we're just gonna say this for giggles. Montreal Canadiens, they want Taylor Hall in free agency, according to Puck Empire, and they want Patrick Laine. Ooh. So
okay, you ain't getting either of them, and if you do get them, you're going to have to add the salary cap to pay them both.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say about that.
They're kind of like the New York Knicks of the NHL.
Yeah, like they have like their salary cap.
Besides, they actually have championships.
Yeah. Like Patrick Laine is going to stay in Winnipeg. I did not know why that they're bringing Patrick Laine up on the news. I have no idea why.
Speak, preach. That's correct. Why even have him in the news? He's such a great player. You already know the Jets are going to re-sign him. Quick end clicks.
What do you think about Taylor Hall, though?
Yes. And speaking of Arizona, Oliver Ekman-Larsson on the trade block. So Grant,
why?
Do you think it's way worse than Brock Besser?
No, because OEL's 28 and his contract's expiring in I think like 2 to 3 years. But overall, yeah, no, I don't agree with it. Why would you have your star defenseman that you've had for years, and all of a sudden now you're a playoff team after years of mediocrity, and now all of a sudden you're going to put your best player on the trading block? It, again, just doesn't make sense. And with some of these Instagram, accounts that say this nonsense, I just don't know why they even bother posting them, because obviously because they're trying to get the clicks and stuff. But in reality, all the stuff you see, like, no, if I'm not to call them up, like Puck Empire and like NHL, like trade room stuff. There, if you follow hockey news, make sure you go follow Puck Report too, because he's a reliable source, not these other ones. And yeah, because he don't say stuff like, "Oh, Oliver Ekman-Larsson's going to get traded," because he's not. Simply put, he's not.
Yeah. He's been through
the little rant there, but people
he has been there through all the struggles that they've had. Yes. I mean, he's your star defenseman. He's been there through like everything, like your name change from Phoenix to Arizona and all that stuff. He's been there through it all. So I think he deserves to stay there. I think he's one of your best He's probably your best defenseman, I think. So.
Yes. So and for goaltenders. So the Ottawa Senators are attempting to get a new goaltender if Craig Anderson leaves. They have options between Matt Murray, Henrik Lundqvist, or Antti Raanta. So with of all these people, Matt Murray, King Henrik, and Antti Raanta, who should go to Ottawa? Grant, who do you think?
Not Lundqvist, because I would feel bad if he spent the last official year of his career with the Senators. I would honestly say, why not go after Antti Raanta? I think he could be a good fit for the Sens. I wouldn't have any complaints if they picked him up, because it seems pretty clear that Darcy Kemper is going to be the man going forward down there for the Coyotes. So, honestly, I wouldn't mind Antti Raanta going to the Sens. I think that would be a good fit.
Yeah. I'm kind of going to disagree with you about Antti Raanta. I think for the most part, Matt Murray is going to come in because you have Casey D. Smith as your third string, and he has been staying in Wilkes-Barre for like almost the whole time he was in Pittsburgh. You will have Tristan Jarry and Casey D. Smith, and D. Smith will now be an NHL regular goaltender. So yeah, I think Matt Murray might jump to Ottawa if Craig Anderson leaves this free agency.
Yeah. I agree with Alex on that one.
I
I think
like
Matt
Nick
Murray would be a really good spot for him over there. So yeah.
Yes. And speaking of trade rumors, we'll say this. Marc-Andre Fleury, let's talk about this flower dude. 3-time Stanley Cup champion, Pittsburgh Penguins. 5 times in the Stanley Cup final. 4 in Pittsburgh, 1 in Vegas. It's tough.
That picture right there explains it. Of course, best Knights goalie of all time, no questioning that. I think it's going to take a couple years for Leonard to catch up to that. But Marc-Andre Fleury's agent posted that picture right there Saturday on Twitter, and you probably can't see it, but on the knife it says DeBoer, who, of course, is the new Golden Knights coach, because it has seemed pretty clear that Fleury's gotten a lot less playing time since the coaching change from Gallant. So I see why Fleury's frustrated. At the same time, you kind of can't be, because Leonard's been the better goaltender so far, and I have no complaint. The fact that Leonard, outside of last night against Vancouver, he's been playing tremendously well in the playoffs. So I get why Fleury's upset, and that's why I could also see him perhaps going to the Senators. I think Fleury could be another option if you want to throw out the goalie rumors in the mix. But overall, yeah, no, I mean, I see why Fleury's upset, but honestly, you can't blame the coaching decision for this.
Yeah, right. Marco, what do you think about Fleury?
Oh, I don't really like him that much. I mean, he beat my Blackhawks in game 3, I believe. Yeah, game 3, and he made us go down 3-0. But other than that, I mean, he's an okay goalie. I mean, Leonard's obviously been the better goalie the whole year, I believe. So I think Leonard's a better goalie. I think Fleury. I mean, he's getting kind of old, so I think if he really can't find a spot this year, I think maybe he can be thinking about the options of retirement potentially. But I think that could be a good spot for him.
Yeah, like for Fleury, I hate to say this, might go to Washington if they do not have enough veteran backup goaltender. If Grice signs with the Islanders, if
you got Zach Fucali, though. What, you not believing in Zach Fucali?
I have no clue. McCall is a AHL goaltender.
Yeah, no, I know. I was busting your chops.
Yeah. You might have Fleury and Samsonov back teaming up together. Or if Samsonov is injured for like the whole entire season, you might have Fleury or Vanchek for call. Or kind of see him go to a team like.
That'd be some Penguin fans.
Yeah. I kind of see him. I'm going to say this is a shocking one. Philadelphia, because Brian Elliott might retire soon. Carter Hart and Marc-Andre Fleury going crazy with each other. Yeah. Or maybe Toronto.
I mean, that's the way. I mean, that's how you get the best goaltending duo in the league. I mean, that's how you surpass Rask and Halak for best goalie duo in the league.
Yeah. Do you see Chicago as a potential option for him?
Who?
Chicago as a potential option for him?
I could see
possibly. That. Yeah, possibly.
Him and Crawford, that'd be pretty good.
Crawford's getting older. He really underperformed in the playoffs. It was game 4. I think that was like the only game he really did okay. He did great actually that game. But I think Subban, he's all right, I guess. I think you could probably take him down to AHL for about a year.
Malcolm Subban is definitely an AHL goaltender. Has been proven with the Bruins and the Knights, and now again with Chicago. I agree there.
Yeah.
Yes. Next one. We definitely talked about numerous times about there's one player who was on the rumor about to go to the New York Rangers, to the Philadelphia Flyers, but no, Johnny Gaudreau is officially on the trade block. Your number 1 winger on the Calgary Flames with Sean Monahan and what's his face? Gaudreau, Monahan, whoever. Wow. Gaudreau.
I'm not surprised by this because the fact that the way Calgary just fell apart in Game 6, the Flames, they were obviously in win now mode. And, a couple months ago, back when the bubble was about a week away, I'm like, this is ridiculous that Johnny Gaudreau is, on the training block. I still don't agree with it. I think if the Flames are going to trade away someone, it should be Sean Monahan over Gaudreau, in my opinion. But overall, heads do got to roll down there in Calgary, and they are in win now mode. And I think it is a very bleak win now mode. So, maybe doing a panic move and, trading Johnny Gaudreau to the Rangers for the first overall pick. Maybe something like that will happen. We just don't know. But definitely after the Flames lost the playoffs, the rumors are definitely feeling just a little bit more believable for Johnny Gaudreau. But I still think it is a good chance it won't happen, but at least now it's post-worthy and talk-worthy.
Yeah. Marco, what do you think?
I don't know about the number one pick, though, with Alex Lafreniere sitting up there, but I think, he could be a potential option maybe to the Devils potentially. I think that could be a team. Sorry about my dog in the background if you guys can hear him. But, yeah, I think the Devils could be a potential option for him. The Rangers, but, we'll see. I think I'm not really mad or happy about it. I think it's just an okay move for them putting him there.
Yeah. Yes.
Here's a little scoring update for you. Yanni Gaudreau and Andre Palat both scored, and the Lightning lead the Bruins 2-0, nearing the first intermission. I, of course, not watching the game right now, but
yes.
Oh boy, Halak, what's up with him, or is it the defense?
I did pick the Lightning. I did pick the Lightning to go all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals, so it's looking
me too.
Good.
Yeah. And speaking of Calgary, we got an injury update, but I think this is odd to tell. Rasmus Anderson played with a broken foot. Isn't this crazy, huh?
Absolutely. I mean, props to him for, going through the pain and playing with that. I mean, he's a decent defenseman, and I've liked what he's done so far.
Yeah. I mean, for if you could see any player to play with an injury or any broken kind of injury, it would be hockey or sport probably, because it is, in my opinion, the toughest sport to play, because all the hits and all that stuff and the skating part. So I think, props to him for doing that.
Yeah, like if Rasmus Anderson starts the regular season with a broken foot, I'm just saying this in general, plays the whole game, he should be in the Bill Masterton conversation, because I think we saw Cam Neely did that a couple of years, in the late, forgot where was this era, in the 80s or the
90s. But, we saw Gregory Campbell. That's the most recent example.
Oh, yeah. That was
penalty kill against Pittsburgh in the 2013 Eastern Conference Finals, yeah.
Yeah, if Anderson does that again, he should be in the Bill Masterton conversation with that. And it's a boring
part of the conversation, but with Bouwmeester, Kobe Cave, or Bobby Ryan this year, it's gonna be tough for him to win it, but maybe next year we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Speaking of injuries, I guess Grant, it's your turn, Ken, about our next injury talk.
Yeah, sure. This is just a random question. Because the Canadiens didn't play horrible in Game 6, and I was like, what if Brendan Gallagher didn't break his jaw? Do you think Montreal could have forced a Game 7? A little bit of a hot take, but sure. I think, the defense played solid for the most part, and Nick Suzuki pretty much carried them throughout Game 6. I feel like if they had Suzuki and Brendan Gallagher, and Carhart would have been a little bit more razzled, maybe Montreal wins that game 4-3. Ultimately, I do think the Flyers end up winning the series in 7 games. But, hey, you know what? Brendan Gallagher, he's a good piece of that Montreal team. And, he's certainly impressive when healthy. So, I think they could have potentially forced a Game 7 here. What do you guys think?
Yeah, well, especially when a player just goes down and hurt, it's obviously a big part, especially with a guy like that. I think they could have forced a Game 7. But, Wait, what was the score? Game 6. What was it? 4-3, I believe.
Yeah, it was very close. Yeah, I want to say it was 4-3. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, I think I think they could have had a chance probably to take it to overtime then, or the next game if they had him there.
Yes.
But I do believe in Philadelphia still would have won the series.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, talk about Galley. Yes, they will definitely force a game 7. If Gallagher did not even exist with a broken jaw, like I'm saying this on other kind, because Gallagher is a guy that he is a good top line forward for like the last 5 years.
Absolutely.
When he was starting to develop offensively, starting to become a top 6, definitely worked out. The coach made an experiment of him challenging him to be on the top line. He definitely worked out. So with that, they will definitely force a game 7 if he did not get that injury. And some interesting news about the St. Louis Blues. So if Alex Pietrangelo does not re-sign with the St. Louis Blues, they might put Ryan O'Reilly as their team captain. So if Pietrangelo does not re-sign, do you think that O'Reilly will be the captain? Grant, what do you think?
Yeah, I think definitely. I do think overall Pietrangelo will stay in St. Louis, but yeah, if he leaves, Ryan O'Reilly, he has earned the fact that he should be the captain. Really being a loose cannon, in Colorado, Buffalo, and then, just head over to St. Louis, really steer his career back on track, back when, his rookie year and a few good few years with the Avalanche, really steered him back on track. And, obviously fantastic in that 2019 finals run. Even this year in the playoffs, he didn't play horrible. So I would say, yeah, definitely well-deserved. I'm just trying to think of, someone else you would go for. The only other player would come to mind is like maybe Jay Bouwmeester, but I think he's arguably going to even retire at the end of the year, so maybe you wouldn't want to give it to him. I think, I'm just trying to think of guys like David Backes, TJ Oshie, Kevin Trackman, all these guys are long gone at this point. So, yeah, I'd definitely give it to Ryan O'Reilly.
Yeah, before
Tarasenko's definitely in the question, but
yeah, and before Marco says anything, I'll just say this in my mind. I would make an argument between Alex Steen or Ryan O'Reilly, because Alex Steen is getting up in age right now. He was not the player that he used to be. Like when the Blues are like starting to become like a top possibly like top 5 teams in the NHL in the early 2010s. So it's like Alex Steen is in a potential of retiring in the next like 2 or 3 years. I would just give it to him, because if Ryan O'Reilly is in a free agent, like let's say like the following year, sign to a long term, because this is a guy who won the Conn Smythe. Sorry, Grant. Conn Smythe.
I'm over it. I've been with this year. I'm completely over it, although it's not like you can go with them losing 2-0 to Tampa Bay, so I don't know.
Playoff MVP, all-around two-way forward, starting to become a Frank J. Selke level. Yeah, I think Alex Steen should get it first, and then once Steen retires, go with Ryan O'Reilly. Or maybe Tarasenko, because he's been in the Blues than Ryan O'Reilly.
I like what you're saying with Alex Steen, and you make up a good point. He was fantastic in the early 2010s when the Blues did make the playoffs. But, now he's like a fourth liner, and I just don't know if you'd really want to, give a fourth liner a captaincy, really. That's just my only gripe about that.
Yeah, Marco. I'll agree with you guys there. I think Ryan O'Reilly had a pretty good career with the Avalanche, where he started off, and then Buffalo, and then St. Louis. I think he does very well deserve it. And yeah.
Yes. Next. All right. So this is going to be a Marco answer. the Chicago Blackhawks are expected to release defenseman Oli Mala and center Zach Smith. So Marco, take it away.
All right. So I'm not really gonna have a lot to say about this because Smith isn't really great. I mean, and then Mala, he's at an okay. He's okay, I guess. I mean, I don't know. He's asking for a lot of money. A lot. So I think it is okay, I guess. We'll see.
Yeah. Grant, what do you think, Mala and Zach Smith?
I mean, I just don't know what in the world. I thought Oli Mata actually had way better stats to his career, but I'm looking at stats now, and yeah, honestly, not even that good.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I was about to say, I thought Oli Mata was a much better player than what he was. And I know Zach Smith is just, your decent third, fourth liner at best, but Oli Mata, I am a little bit disappointed in his NHL career because, Pittsburgh kind of gave up on him after a few years, went over to Chicago, and, he hasn't really performed again. Definitely a team's going to want to pick him up. I definitely don't think he's KHL worthy, but I'm thinking maybe Washington would want to pick him up. I don't know what you think about that, Alex, but overall, I think Oli Mata is an okay-ish defenseman who can really do good on the third line. For Zach Smith, honestly, Zach Smith might even call it a career at this point because he's had so many injuries back in his time with Ottawa even, and he's just had a lot of injuries, Zach Smith, throughout his career. So wouldn't even shock me if Smith retires at the end of the year instead of just, getting bought out or released. And for Oli Mata, I mean, maybe a piece to trade at the draft, than just releasing him, I guess. I don't know. That would be an interesting future for both men.
Yeah, I feel like that could actually benefit us more, instead of just releasing him. I feel like getting maybe a pick or maybe like an AHL player back or something like that.
Yeah.
Instead of just like releasing him. But yeah, I do think Mata's just he does not play up to how much he's getting.
Yeah,
salary wise.
Yeah. How about this, Marco? The Blackhawks can trade Oli Mala to Washington for Brendan Leipzig. How about that? I'm just kidding, because Brendan Leipzig's in the KHL. Since Grant, you said Oli Mala to Washington. If Goodis, Dylan, and Nick Jensen or Jonas Sigenthaler leaves, I'll be more happy to get Oli Mata to Washington. He can.
Yeah, I think at least Rico Gudas for sure isn't coming
back.
Probably Brendan Dillon's not either.
Yeah.
Mata, he can have an amazing defensive game one game, right? And in the next game, he can be one of the worst defensive players on the ice at the time. So he's more of an inconsistent player, or to sometimes just plays all right in average.
Yeah. I know what Grant's doing on his phone. He's looking for a girlfriend.
Now we're good on.
Okay. All right. I think that was a funny sound effect.
I ain't doing anything crazy on the job. I'm looking at my notes.
Okay, cool. All right. Red Wings re-signed center Robbie Fabry. All right. Red Wings re-signed center Rob Fabry to a 2-year deal worth $2.95 million per year. I have a little complaint on the salary, but I think the 2 years is good on Robbie Fabry. This is a guy who has been struggling with injuries numerous times in his career. Yeah. Missed the whole time at the 2017-18 season. Was injured since the whole entire 2018-19 season. Played the last 20 games of the season. And now this is his first time playing for a full year of a COVID season. It's a little bit not 2.95 worthy. I kind of, if I was who's the GM, Steve Yzerman, I would give him have a 2-year $1.75 million per year other than $2 million. If he works out in Detroit, stays healthy, then he'll grab the 2.95 mark.
Yeah, sure. I mean, even the money, I don't necessarily agree with. I mean, sure, the Red Wings do have a lot of horrible contracts, but I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that guys like Joakim Eriksson and Justin Abdelkader are probably going to be bought out this offseason, if not next offseason. Honestly, Robbie Fabry's decent when healthy. He's a fantastic role player. He'll get the job done on like the second, third line. He's overall a good player to have. I definitely have no complaints with a 2-year deal, and even the salary, in my opinion, isn't even that bad. I mean, $2.5 million a year, that's not bad.
Yeah, and honestly, at this point, the Red Wings are honestly just desperate for trying to develop some players and just trying to get some kind of talent that they can find out of some of these guys, like former OHL players and some former guys from other teams.
Yeah.
But I mean, I actually just pulled up his stats. He had 105 points at the Greater Toronto Hockey League. So, yeah, 57 goals, and that's pretty good.
Yeah. All right, so the NHL has been pulling off a interesting hot take for next year. So, Grant, would you like to explain this?
Sure. Would the NHL regular season bubble work? And we will pull up the details for you. So basically, an NHL regular season bubble would be a bubble that would feature 4 arenas, and all 31 NHL teams would switch arenas every 8 games. Interesting idea on paper. I gotta be honest with you, though, I don't think it would work. Because here's the thing with the playoffs. You can pick those 2 arenas like Edmonton and Toronto, and you can just stick with them. The problem is with even the 4 arenas, it just wouldn't work. And here's why. One, I think with an entire season, I think the NHL would just be bleeding in money. And second off, how would this work? Especially if you're trying to fit like 2 or 3 games like in a day. Like you would literally have to start playing some games like in the morning and stuff like that. Like the 11 o'clock, like the Bruins Hurricanes game 1 was. Like you're gonna have to start games like wicked early, probably in the AM hours. And I know folks down there in California ain't gonna like that. So, as long as I have hockey, I'm cool with it. But overall, I just wouldn't see it really working that well. What do you guys think of this?
Yeah.
Marco, you can go ahead.
So yeah, I agree with Grant. I really don't think this will work because they'd have to start games like 8 a.m. and 11 and like just
right.
It would just be a lot of work, and you're also going to be switching cities. So potential. I mean, you're going to be switching 4 times, right?
It's 8 o'clock.
So potentially, like you could maybe get a COVID case or something like that. But I don't think this would really work out well.
Yeah. What I'm seeing on Twitter on the share screen. Sorry. Rumors have come out in the start 2020-21 NHL season for 4 arenas, and they have to rotate every 8 games. If I was Commissioner Bettman, I would say 2 in each Eastern Conference and 2 on the Western.
Right.
So
yeah. I would imagine it'd probably be Edmonton, Toronto, actually.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to say.
But then would you keep the other 2 arenas in Canada, or would you have 2 in the United States? That's the other question you have to deal with. Yeah. Do you want teams to be traveling from Canada to the United States every like 2 weeks or so?
Yeah. What I'm thinking is
too much. I think go into the circle work.
Yeah.
Also, like I really don't know how it would work with like 31 teams and they switch off 8 games. Like, would one team have like less games or something like that? Because you're gonna have 31, so it wouldn't really be equal.
I think
if you have 7 teams in like 8 and 3 other ones.
Yeah, like what I think that they might do is they might do like a 60 game. No, it can't be 60. 31 times 8. Well, it has to be even. Like have one team out, so pretty much like 30 times 8. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Like 2. I can't do the math in general, but But anyway, we will find out if anything happens in.
Yeah, I think this could be a potential thing that maybe happens, but it's probably not going to happen. But I think this would be a pretty cool idea if it were to happen. So the NHL they separate it with divisions, they create two conferences like the NFL has for they just create two big conferences and then they just keep it like that, and then they have 30 games or 40 games like that. And then they switch off all those teams. They switch off half of them to the other side and half of them to that side. So then, you could have different games played, but then you also have some of your main conference games played as well.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah. All right. Oops, sorry. Since we got over the NHL season, Brendan Dubinsky from the Columbus Blue Jackets, he's expecting to retire after suffering a chronic wrist injury. I'm just gonna say this. Sorry. Do you want me to go?
No, you can go. Right. Yeah, no, I gotta pull up our next topic anyway, and Tori, so you can go.
All right. First things first about Brendan Dubinsky. Yes, he's getting injured too many times, missed significant time, the last 5 years. In the last 5 years, I don't see a retirement with a chronic wrist injury. I don't see that it's very bad, honestly. But if you're a guy who has been missing significant time with injury, do I see him retire with a wrist injury? No, because pretty much for a wrist injury can take 2 or 3 weeks to get over it. All you have to do is wear a cast or a protector. It's kind of dumb for that reason. But if you're looking for a career end retirement, it has to be a rare leg injury what David Clarkson and Nathan Horton is going through to this day.
Yeah.
But dude, do I see him be a David Clarkson or Nathan Horton level? No, because
honestly, I think he's better than both of them.
Yeah.
So it's
maybe not Nathan Horton, a beast in his prime, but definitely better than David Clarkson.
I actually just got an update from ESPN. 5 MLS games just got suspended because of they're protesting.
I got that too. Oh boy, we can talk about that actually after this topic. We didn't have that, but we can talk about that actually.
Yeah. We can.
This topic about Dubinsky. Dubinsky's career.
Mainly basketball, but also some MLB games got suspended, like the Brewers, Reds, and then now the Padres, Mariners as well.
Yeah.
So
we certainly talk about that.
Yeah, and then I actually got to be a virtual fan for one of the games tomorrow, the Celtics game. Looks like that's not going to happen.
Nice.
So Marco, how do you be a virtual fan?
Oh, there's this one website I found. It's called oneota.com. Create an account, and you can request to be a virtual fan for pretty much anything, like concerts, games, and all that stuff. So.
All right. Yeah, I should be.
All right, maybe I'll have to try to be a Bruins. I'll definitely have to try to be a Bruins fan.
That would be really cool if hockey did that.
Yeah. All right.
I think they do, but they only show them briefly.
Yeah.
Whenever they score, then they will quickly take them off.
Oh,
so I don't know if that'd be worth it, but we'll see.
I think it's probably pre-recorded though.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Let's talk about the Seattle Kraken. They unveiled their concept mask, and what I've been telling Grant about this, he said they're copywriting the San Jose Sharks. Grant, if you want to explain.
Yes, this looks exactly like a Shark logo. Yeah, it looks good. It does. I think it looks awesome, and I'm a huge fan of the logo. But when you look at this, I mean, you didn't know there was a new NHL team coming to the league. You would immediately assume this was the Sharks, right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe with
it
the
was
little
the
octopus out looking at it, maybe not. But I mean, it definitely has that Sharks feeling. But again, what can you really do if you're the Kraken here for logo wise? So that was kind of my first thoughts about it. But now that I'm actually looking at it, I mean, I think it does look fantastic. If this will be their actual mask, I think they had a home run anyway. And I like the fact how it has like the octopus legs on there and stuff. But again, it's just at first glance, it seems like a Sharks helmet. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think they like already have a top 5 kind of scheme, like color scheme and stuff, like because their jerseys are probably gonna look pretty cool and all that stuff. I think when you actually get onto the ice, I think this will all look really really cool. And I mean the helmet that looks really nice. And yeah, so I'm gonna have to agree with you, Grant. I think it does look pretty similar, but I mean you got the octopus there, which kind of makes it look a little less. But yeah,
Right.
I agree with you guys and disagree. I'm gonna say the agree part. Yes, the coloring scheme is solid. Like you have the eye, you have the Kraken eyes on the top, like where your eyes go.
I actually did not notice that.
That's right by the cage.
Yeah.
But a little complaint is the octopus should replace the eyes, because in the past Sharks goalie masks has the eyes. And what if they have the Seattle Metropolitans as their alternate jersey? Then they should have like an S like right by like right here, and put like on the side, have like Seattle Metropolitans the first year established in the N, and Seattle Kraken the first year and team present. That would be
really the only different thing with the Sharks logo was their eyes and their goalie mask look just a little more realistic.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
Well, I mean, they also got the teeth in the sides. So.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next one.
I mean, overall, man, that's only their concept mask, but I mean, wow, well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next one, we got Vladimir Tarasenko out for another additional 5 months for another shoulder injury. Missed the whole season. Missed the whole season since October. He's going to be out for like the next year. What is going on with Tarasenko? He should have sit out the whole entire playoffs so that he won't deal with that, have that injury. What are you doing, Craig Berube? This is why that Vancouver slayed the Dragon for the last 9 years. 2 out of the 9 years. Graham, what do you think?
I mean, it's certainly unfortunate with what's going on with Vladimir Tarasenko because he's such a great player. And obviously, I hate to see him, out this long with an injury because, he suffered an injury very early on in the year. I think it was around November. I think he suffered an injury. Yeah, he's been out ever since. So it's just, you really hope he can come back. Just missing, another additional 5 to 6 months here is just absolutely crucial to Blues. And honestly, I think that's why the Blues got out of the first rounds because I think they're just – so reliant on having, Ryan O'Reilly play with Vladimir Tarasenko, and the fact that they didn't have it this year in the playoffs, I think is the majority of the reason why they lost. And again, I think it's just going to come to haunt them during the regular season. I think the Blues they're going to make the playoffs next year. They're going to barely get in because Tarasenko's going to be missing probably 80% of the year, especially if you have a shortened season. So I don't know. It's not good for the Blues. That's for sure.
Yeah, and especially when he does make his comeback for next year, he'll be pretty rusty, and he's probably not going to be 100% for about a few games and not back to how he was. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you there, Grant. Missing Tarasenko was a big part for why the Blues came out early in round 1. So yeah.
Yeah. I already said my thing. Bruins re-signed bubble backup Dan Vladar. That is a good sign for Boston because Dan Vladar, Grant, you can correct me if I'm wrong, led the AHL save percentage and goals against average. I think he
absolutely.
This kid is the next.
He is the future goaltender. He is the next Carhart. And this is why I actually kind of want to see him play, especially if Halak continues to struggle. I want to see him play. Oh, right, as I say that, Miguel Sergachev scores 3-0 Lightning. Right when I say, I wonder how Halak's doing, and just get the notification that Tampa Bay scored again. But anyway, he is a fantastic. I actually think it's pronounced like Baldish or something. It's kind of crazy the way you pronounce his name. But anyway, he is overall a very impressive goaltender. Definitely, I think he can be the next Carhart. And this is what got me very interested when Rask got it out, because I knew the kid had the shot to be the next big thing. And I'm honestly looking at him like, wow, I mean, if you can learn, if Rask retires or leaves the Bruins, I'm like, wow, if you really learn a year behind Halak and then you just take off, I think this could be a fantastic signing. Because we already know Halak's saying because he signed the 1-year deal back in March. This guy is going to be a fantastic goaltender.
I think he does.
He got for 2 years on a rookie deal. Use him properly.
I think a 3-year extension, I believe, right? I think that will be pretty good. I mean, I think this guy has a lot of potential. I mean, you could see him as a top 5 or top 10 goal in the next few years if he does get if he can start. So yeah, that is my thoughts on that.
Yes. What is going on with the Arizona Coyotes? Grant, I think you can say what is happening to the Arizona Coyotes. That happened 3 hours ago.
The Coyotes. Why are the Coyotes so good, but whenever we bring them up on this show, they do something negative? Coyotes drive me nuts. Apparently, they violated some rule at the NHL Combine, and now they lost their 2020 second and 2021 first-round picks. Why? You have the pieces to make it far in the playoffs now. These are 2 very crucial picks in your upcoming future, really deciding your next few years, and you cheat the Combine? Come on, man. What are you doing? You have this team set up in the perfect spot, and then you just blow it by doing something stupid at the Combine. Good job. You're never making the playoffs again. That's what I got to say about that. Coyotes just blew their shot at doing something in the playoffs. And a couple years down the road.
Yeah, that could have been like the next Dominic Hasek. That could have been like the next late pick all-star and stuff like that. But yeah.
Yeah, Arizona. I think, do we need to bring the trash can if we bring the Arizona Coyotes up on the news, on the show? Yes. Very stupid for Arizona. This is a team that they came back in the I was about to do something else. Playoffs since 2012. The last time that the Coyotes met the playoffs.
The Kings beat them, though. I love it.
Now they blew their chance trying to become like a regular team, a normal team, and they blew it. I think this is good. I think this was way worse about Bailey, the mascot for the LA Kings. The Coyotes just passed Bailey.
We ain't bringing that up again, are we? Go talk from last week's show. But anyway, you have a guy to, really find, the guy who can play with Garland or Keller or pair up with Churn on the D line. And you just do this. It's like, come on, man. That Coyotes AHL team is no slouch. They actually have a lot of good prospects down there. You just have a shot to keep on building and building and building on that massive, prospect core you have. I mean, at least you have the first rounder this year. Outside of, but you also made it past the qualifying round, so it's not even a top 15 pick. So
yeah, but still, ideally, you want that top. You want a second round pick to back it up.
Yes,
because I mean, second round picks are well lately. So.
All right, since we got all that goofiness out of the way, I think we're saving the goofiness. Yeah, it's time to reveal our NHL cover athletes starting 6. I think Marco, did you get your? Oh
yeah, I'll go last though because I might make some adjustments because I only got some of the guys. I think I only got 4 or 5, but yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I guess I'll
go first. I'm gonna pull mine up.
Okay. There's some shocking ones. No controversial. So why not start with the goaltender? No brainer. Martin Brodeur, NHL 14. On the fence, I got NHL 19 PK Subban. And the first game that I ever owned, NHL 9 Dion Phaneuf. Forwards, I got NHL 20 Austin Matthews. My past favorite game of all time, NHL 12 Steven Stamkos. NHL 2004 Danny Heatley. If I did not choose Danny Heatley, it would be NHL 21 Alex Ovechkin. Yes, I did not put Ovechkin there on NHL 21, but since they're bringing new stuff on NHL 21, wait for season 2. Ovechkin's going to be a home run for sure. So I'm picking.
That's on your Instagram, right? Your franchise on your Instagram.
Yeah. See, my last four I got Danny Heatley, NHL 04.
So right, what I did, I honestly just ranked my top 8 players from the cover. I didn't really make a lineup, so that's fine.
I did my whole lineup. I did the whole 4 lines, all 4 defensemen, my starter and backup goaltenders.
Oh, nice.
I went nuts on this thing.
Should I go?
Marcus, before you go, since I'm making the design, so once you put a 4, then I'll throw then I'll take any player away. Since you said it, I'll just take one random player. So yeah, Marco, you can take it away.
Okay, so my first player I had, obviously you guys know I'm a big Blackhawks fan, so I had to put Patrick Kane here. So Patrick Kane in NHL 10. I mean, he had 30 goals. He had 88 points that year. He had a very good year. So yeah, my second guy I had here was NHL 2000. I had Chris Proudner here. He had a pretty good year that year, to say the least. And yeah, next I had Steven Stamkos from NHL 12. 97 points that year. I mean, that was great. And then next up, that year he scored. Yeah, he scored
2012. That might have been 2012 when he scored.
Yeah, it was 2012.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was a 60-goal year. Yeah, I remember that because 60 goals against the Bruins.
Next, this was an easy one. Connor McDavid, obviously. 108 points that year. That's just insane. I have him for NHL 18, and then I got Austin Matthews in my 5th spot.
And you need a defenseman.
Yeah, and then my 6th spot, I had Alex Ovechkin from NHL 07.
Okay.
And then I have 7 through 8. If you guys want to hear that too.
Yeah, you also need a defenseman and a goaltender.
All right, so I'll give you guys some more. So then I got Vladimir Tarasenko at my 7. And then 8, I got Eric Stahl. So wait, do you guys want me to tell you guys some goalies?
Yeah, goalies? And you need one defenseman as well.
All right.
You can choose a random defenseman, like I said.
Let me just look through this list here real quick.
Sorry that we're taking so long, everyone.
Yeah.
Hey, you're all right, Marco. It's fine.
You good?
I'm gonna go with. Wait. Oh, you sent me on Instagram, right? The list of the players. Okay. Well, I mean, Grant can go, and then I'll just list off my final ones if you guys want.
Yeah. Grant, you can take it away.
All right, sounds good. I said the lineup, and I know there's guys missing like Taves and Stamkos, but I actually wanted to build this team up like I'm building an actual team. And actually, I just realized you guys can't really see that, so I'm not going to share my screen. But pretty much, I'll just go over my roster real quick. My first line, Mario Lemieux at center, Ovechkin on the left wing, Kane at the right wing. That's my first line. Then my second line is because, again, I mean, I could put Stamkos or Taves on the first line, but, I wanted to make an actual lineup here, with the forwards, the left wing, and the right wing. So we just went with that. Second line, I got Steve Yzerman down the middle with Ginla on the right-hand side and 1507 Heatley on the left-hand side. Then my third line consists of Peter Forsberg, Connor McDavid, and Marcus Naslund. And then the fourth line would be Giroux, Bergeron, and Tarasenko. My defenseman would go. My first pairing would be Scott Stevens, Chris Pronger, and then my second Subban is PK Subban and Dion Phaneuf. You'd be crazy if you had Subban and Phaneuf as your first line pairing over two actual Hall of Famers. And then got my two goalies. I got Brodeur as my starter, Mike Richter as my backup. There you go.
All right, yeah. So I got
5 minutes.
All right, so my defenseman is PK Subban.
Okay.
And then my goalie is Brodeur. So yeah.
Marty Brodeur, yeah.
Yeah.
Brodeur.
All right. I think this was a great podcast for episode 19. Almost to 90 minutes, but we were so lucky to have a great podcast. And Marco, thank you so much for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right. I guess we'll go for our outro. If you guys like this video, please hit the like button. That greatly appreciates lots to us. That's gonna make us do more podcast videos. You guys know the drill. Check us out on our social medias: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. You guys know the drill. Check out Grant Fly on Instagram, daily Fluster Sports Zone for daily sports news. Check out Instagram Powerskateshow, TikTok Powerskateshow, yes, Twitter Powerskateshow, yeah, it's all of that. And episode 20,
follow TikTok, by the way.
Yeah, episode 20, we're expecting to have Rob Ray, Buffalo Sabres enforcer legend. It's going to be just an exclusive interview. No topics shown. So yeah, and once
I'd
again,
also recommend for sure to go follow the Powerskate Show and Grant because I mean they have some really reliable sports news.
Yeah.
Yeah. Marco, appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, Grant, you can say your.
My Rob Ray next week, your first NHL player / analyst. Can't wait for it. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get him on here. And boy, what an experience that would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, Grant, you can take it away right now.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Thanks, everyone, for tuning into another edition of the Powerskate Show. I'm Grant Flood, along with Alex Social and Marco saying, enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy some playoff hockey. There's going to be plenty of sports news or playoff hockey news this week. But again, probably won't talk about because we'll hopefully have that interview, which, boy, that would be something. But hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast. If you did, hit that like button. Again, make sure you go follow Powerskate Show and Fluster Sports Zone, Alex and Marco and all that good stuff on social media. And yeah, I'm Grant Flow from Fluster Sports Zone saying, have a good night, everybody.